At Dining Fables this week, we are continuing our series of amazing pubs with amazing food. So if you're on the hunt for a brilliant gastro pub, you've come to the right place. But where will this week's fable come from? Now, as pubs are a bit of a British institution, some of you may not know what a gastro pub is. In a nutshell, these are elevated public houses that are also known for their inventive menus centred around local, seasonal ingredients and well-curated drinks offerings. So this week, I'm heading off to a pub that I pass pretty much every day on my way to my son's school to drop him off. The Beehive is located in White Waltham, just outside Maidenhead. It's a pub that's been on my radar ever since I saw the chef patron, Don Chapman, appear on the Great British Menu a few years ago. And I know that Dom has now taken on a second pub in the area. It's called the Crown in Birch's Green, which is only a couple of miles away. So it's great to support a food business that are expanding during these tricky times for hospitality. I also love the Beehive's location. It's just so English. It's even got a cricket pitch just outside the beer garden, which will be a fantastic place to grab a beer, sit and watch on a sunny summer's day. Let's check them out online. So what have we got? Oh, it looks lovely on the inside, nice and bright. Let's see what they say about themselves. So the Beehive is a wonderful village pub in the beautiful village of White Waltham. It has a huge reputation in the local area and is a favourite local for many in the village. At the Beehive, we aim to protect this reputation. We aim to create a delicious seasonal menu. Sounds brilliant so far. Throughout the year, we want to produce a menu that represents Britain and our wonderful produce. Dishes that are heartwarming, affordable and packed full of flavour. Oh, I love this, especially how proud they sound to be in the area and to represent Britain. Okay, so on to the menu. What have we got? Cauliflower and cheddar velouté, chives, croutons. Well, that sounds amazing, as I love a velouté as a sauce. Because if you don't know, a classic velouté starts by making a roux with equal parts of melted butter and flour and then whisking in a clear stock, but this makes it sound more like a soup. I'm really intrigued. Shin of beef Pithivier, truffled soft polenta, red wine jus. Now, to be honest, I'm not 100% sure what a Pithivier is, or even if I've said it correctly. If you know, let me know in the comments below. If not, I'm going to research it later. Now this set menu sounds amazing, so I've got to have a cheeky look at the main dinner menu as well, as I imagine it's going to be good. Yep, I'm not disappointed. Tuna tartare, lasagna of wild rabbit, goodness me. Cornish monkfish, tempura king prawns, rainbow chard. Oh, even better, haunch of venison, that's one of my favourite meats. And that's definitely something I'd come back for. Even baked Alaska, not had that in years, but I love it. Right, quick look of Instagram and then I'm done. Yep, it's as I thought. There's some delicious looking food here. Oh, let's check out this video for a second, as I think it might be the venison. Oh yes, there we go, that's it. Oh, I'm definitely going to have to go there for dinner now. Wow, look at that. Okay, that's enough of Instagram. Let's get out of the virtual world and into the real world. Let's eat out. So when I arrived at the Beehive, I was warmly welcomed by the new head chef Alex, as apparently Dom is now over at the Crown most of the time. But it turns out that Alex used to work at the Hand and Flowers before moving here, so this has got to be a good sign. So we had a brilliant chat about his menu and what he's trying to achieve at the restaurant, and it was Alex who convinced me to go for their set menu, as it's proving so popular at the moment. But as it turns out, it's slightly different from the one I saw on the website. So here it is. They also kindly bring out some homemade white sourdough bread, fresh butter and a canapé called a Marmite crisp bread. Now I know it's not the done thing, but I've got to try some on this bread. Oh wow, that sourdough is so good. And you just can't go wrong with freshly churned butter. So here comes the cauliflower cheddar velouté with chives and croutons. Oh yeah, that's wonderful. It's smooth, warming and just what I need an autumnal cold day. Time for the cracker. Now I love Marmite, so I'd actually have liked this to have been even more Marmite-y if that's a word. But I guess as the advert says, you either love it or hate it. So I guess they have to create something that will appeal to most diners. In my experience, soups can be very visually uninspiring. I've had to photograph a few in my time, and I think they've done a great job to make this look great. It's the drizzle of green chive oil onto it that makes all the difference. If you're interested, my wine today is a lovely Viognier, which was recommended to me by the staff. Which wine do you think would go well with this velouté? Let me know in the comments below. Now what I really like about this soup is its creaminess, but as it's a velouté, I'm assuming there's actually no cream in it. It feels really luxurious, which sometimes means it's heavy, but this one isn't. It warms you up without weighing you down, which is great news, because again it's lunchtime and I'm planning on 3 courses, which is a really good thing. Finally, I must mention the croutons, as they added a really nice bit of crunch. In fact, they're one of my favourite things about the dish. I could probably eat a bag of them on their own. They're an absolute winner. On to the shin of beef Pithivier. Okay, hands up. Who out there knows what a Pithivier is? I certainly don't, so let's check it out. A Pithivier is a traditional French dish hailing back to the town of Pithivier, which dates back to the 17th century. Originally, Pithiviers were made from sweet fillings, namely frangipane, but are now more commonly savoury. A small mound of filling is positioned at the centre of the underneath layer of the pastry, rather than spread on it, so as to prevent it from leaking during baking. It's then traditionally finished by brushing egg wash on before it goes in the oven. Just look inside this, the beef is so soft and tender, it must have been cooked for ages. Okay, here we go, first taste. Oh wow, wow, wow. It's got such a deep, rich, meaty flavour. It is wonderful. So meaty in fact, I can't see any other solid vegetables or ingredients in there at all. It's all beef, baby. Now beef shin comes from the foreshank of the animal, and due to the vast amount of work the muscle does, it's full of connective tissue, which makes the meat very tough. This means the shin benefits from being cooked low and slow in order to break down all the fibres, and turns it into an umptuous, gelatinous meat which in turn thickens the sauce in which it's cooked. Beef shin is generally a very cheap cut because of the long cooking time required, and it's sometimes seen as undesirable, but these results show it's well worth the wait. It has to be said the pastry is also an absolute star of this dish. It's buttery and crumbly and adds some welcome texture to the dish too. Creamy polenta is something I've not had before, so I was curious to try it. And once again I'm pleased to report it's absolutely delicious. It's almost got a citrusy zing to it. So polenta is a North Italian porridge made of coarsely ground cornmeal. Polenta is a wonderfully creamy with a lightly sweet buttery corn flavour, and the addition of truffle just takes it up a level. And finally I have to mention the tender stem broccoli, as it's pretty much my favourite veg, so I was really happy to see it on my plate. It's one of those vegetables that for years I didn't think I liked until I tried it again. Thankfully I was wrong and now I love it. So there's a lesson there for everybody. Keep trying things as you get older because you never know what you might go back to. Which foods have you thought you didn't like, but then when you actually tried them decided that you did? Let me know in the comments below. There are so many good things to say about this dish, but actually one of them is the size. For a lunch menu it's absolutely perfect as I've still got room for my dessert. So again, a nod to the chefs as they've clearly thought this through. Well, this was a very pleasant surprise when it arrived. From the sample set menu, it mentions some sort of chocolate dessert, one I'd not actually heard of before, so I was in two minds. One, because I like to try new things, so I was excited to find out what it was, but two, I'm not a huge fan of chocolate. But I was really pleased to find out that it had changed to one of my favourites, yeah, sticky toffee pudding again. And wow, this is a good one. Its sponge cake is moist and fluffy and it's doused in a decadent toffee sauce and a wonderful dollop of ice cream on top. Now if you've seen the last Dining Fables visit to a pub, which was the Green Oak in Windsor, if not you can watch it in the restaurant playlist coming up at the end of this video. You'll see that I had sticky toffee pudding then too. So it's a sticky toffee pudding off. Well, there's a sentence I never thought I'd say. And if you're not sure what sticky toffee pudding is, then check out that video as I go into more detail. But to be honest, there was no clear winner as both were amazing. So what's my takeaway from the brilliant Beehive in White Waltham? Well, the Beehive is a great example of how to elevate the pub experience. And I can certainly see why they've won so many awards recently, including getting to number 11 in the top 50 gastro pubs in the UK, which is impressive and highly deserved. By offering amazingly inventive menus centred around local, seasonal ingredients that are updated regularly, they can compete with the best restaurants in the area. But by also offering local patrons the opportunity to order from a simple bar menu, enjoy a drink from a well-curated selection, in a cosy environment, or in the beer garden, or at the bar, they offer locals, or those from farther afield, the best of both worlds. And I know I certainly fall into that camp, because I want to come back one evening for the haunch of venison, but I'd also love to come back to watch a game of cricket in the sunshine, in their beer garden with a craft beer or two. The Beehive really has got the lot for me. So to sum up, the whole meal really was very well thought through for me and brilliantly executed by Alex and his team. A talented bunch for sure. I can't wait to come back and see how the menu changes the next time I'm here. As always, thank you so much for watching to the end of this dining fable, and if it inspires you to visit the Beehive, please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Stuck for somewhere to eat this weekend, or perhaps in the coming months, then watch the Dining Fables restaurant playlist for some of the best places to eat locally. Grab a fork, join our community and subscribe today.